What if the things that feel the smallest, the ones you hardly notice anymore, are actually where your healing begins? Maybe you've been sensing it, the way days quietly flow into one another, how some routines remain unchanged, simple, steady. Washing a dish after breakfast, sweeping a quiet corner of the room, watering the same plant in the same pot at the same hour. You might still do these things alone, at your pace, in your way, and it might feel like a habit, like something automatic, just one more thing that fills the day. But what if those very moments, the ones you've almost stopped thinking about, were holding something sacred, something that doesn't shout, doesn't demand, but whispers? Because here's the part that's easy to forget. These small, gentle acts, repeated, familiar, might be one of the most powerful ways to care for your mind after 60. And no, this isn't about staying busy or keeping up appearances. It's not about showing the world that you're still doing fine. It's about something quieter than that, something truer. It's about how your brain receives every gesture, how it notices the movement of your hands, the timing of your day, the comfort in a rhythm that doesn't need to be explained. Your brain is always listening, even when it's quiet, even when you feel like nothing special is happening. While you fold, rinse, organize, your mind is finding order too. While your body repeats what it knows, your mind finds relief in that knowing. There's no urgency in these tasks, no need to rush, no pressure to finish quickly. And that's exactly why they matter. Because healing rarely comes in noise. It often arrives in repetition, in presence, in these tiny, almost invisible acts that say without words, I'm still here. So for a moment, just notice. These quiet routines might be offering you more than comfort. They might be helping you stay clear, stay rooted, stay whole. And if the world outside doesn't see it, if no one praises or even mentions it, know this: you are not alone. The universe hears you. And your brain? It feels every soft step you take toward yourself. There's something deeply sacred about repetition, not because it impresses others, not because it leads to an outcome, but because it becomes a language your body speaks, and your brain understands. You've done it 1,000 times. Folding towels, sweeping the same spot in the hallway, wiping the counter after making tea. And it may seem like just housekeeping, ordinary things we do without thinking. But science has been quietly paying attention. One study observed something remarkable. Older adults who spent more time on everyday household chores had greater brain volume, specifically in areas tied to memory, attention, and planning. Yes, doing these quiet, steady things can actually help your brain stay sharp. It's not about how much you do. It's about how you move through what's already there. You don't need a puzzle, book, or a new gadget, or some digital challenge to stimulate your mind, because each time you reach for a cup, each time you organize a drawer or water a plant, you're inviting your brain into movement. The mind doesn't only grow through complexity, it also grows through consistency, through rhythm, through physical intention. You are giving your brain a workout, not with effort, but with gentleness. And the beauty is that you're already doing it. You don't have to add anything new. You just have to remember that what feels small might be exactly what your mind needs most. Every motion counts. Every repeated act becomes a kind of internal music, activating focus, sharpening memory, reinforcing patterns of awareness. What others may overlook, your body knows by heart. And your brain? It's grateful. Grateful for the quiet structure. Grateful for the reliability. Grateful for the love wrapped inside your routines. This is the hidden workout, the one you've been doing all along, without needing to call it exercise, without needing to prove anything, just by showing up with presence, in your own way. There's a quiet strength in knowing what comes next. Waking up and hearing the same bird outside your window, pouring water into the same mug, sitting in that one familiar chair at the same time, every morning. It may seem small, but, to your brain, it's everything. Routine isn't about being rigid. It's about offering the mind a place to land, a rhythm to rest in. Especially now, when life has already brought so many changes, in the body, in relationships, in how the world moves around you. Routine becomes a kind of anchor. It gives the brain something to hold on to when everything else feels too fast, too loud, too unpredictable. And this matters more than we often realize, because when your mind knows what to expect, it doesn't have to work as hard to prepare for what's next. It can soften, it can focus, it can breathe. You begin to notice how much calmer your thoughts feel, how your memory holds more clearly, how your decisions come with a little more ease. It's like tracing a familiar path in the woods. You don't need to think. Your steps remember. Your breath slows. Even the smallest habits, eating lunch at the same hour, listening to music as the sun sets, turning down the bed before night, begin to tell your nervous system, you are safe here. And that feeling of safety, that's what allows healing. You don't need to schedule every minute, but when your days have soft structure, your brain builds stronger bridges, your emotional world finds steadiness, your spirit feels gently held. In these daily repetitions, you're not stuck, you're supported, you're cared for by the rhythm you've created around you. And that rhythm, quiet as it is, holds more power than we often give it credit for. Solitude can be soothing. It can offer space, reflection, silence. And in many ways, those solitary moments have become a trusted part of your day. Preparing your own meals, sweeping the porch in the quiet of the morning, folding your laundry with care in your own rhythm. There's beauty in that independence. But from time to time, something changes when another presence enters that space. Not to interrupt, not to take over, just to be near. The brain responds in a different way when we share even the simplest moments, not with noise, not with performance, but with gentle shared presence. A loved one slicing fruit beside you, a friend chatting softly while you water your plants. Even the brief warmth of a smile exchanged while preparing lunch. Social interaction isn't always about conversation. Sometimes it's simply about proximity, being seen, heard, felt, and these quiet exchanges, they awaken something in your brain. A different kind of stimulation, one that supports memory, awareness, and emotional regulation. Science has shown that older adults who experience consistent, meaningful connection tend to maintain stronger cognitive health, not through crowds or noise, but through touch points of tenderness, of belonging. It's not about needing someone to do the task for you, it's about feeling someone alongside you, even for a moment. That presence creates resonance, a soft vibration that says, you're still part of something, you're still connected, you still matter. Your routines are sacred, and when shared with love, even briefly, they can become moments of silent celebration. Because healing also happens in the spaces between people, in shared time, in small gestures, in being quietly together. Some moments pass through us without leaving a trace. We move, we act, we complete, but we don't always notice. Yet other moments seem to open something deeper, not because they're big or rare, but because we are truly there when they happen. This is mindfulness, and it doesn't require silence or incense or a special cushion. Sometimes it lives in the warmth of the dishwater, the texture of the fabric you're folding, the sound of the broom touching the floor. It lives in your breath, in the way your hands move, in the stillness between one task and the next. When you bring your full attention to something simple, a single act done slowly, you invite your mind to soften. The background noise begins to fade. The anxious thoughts settle, and a sense of clarity begins to return. This isn't about perfection. It's not about trying to empty your mind or get something right. It's about showing up for what's already here, even if just for a minute, even if just for one quiet moment while rinsing a cup. Studies show that these small windows of mindfulness, when practiced regularly, can enhance memory, sharpen attention, and reduce stress. And your nervous system? It responds with a quiet sigh of relief. Because when you are fully present, you're not rushing forward or looking back. You're grounded in now, and now is where life lives. These ordinary tasks are not in the way of your healing. They are your healing. When done with awareness, they become prayers. They become medicine. The water, the cloth, the sound of breath. They're not just part of the day, they're part of your return to yourself. And every time you meet the moment like this, you say to your mind, "I'm here with you." And your mind quietly says back, "Thank you." Not all movement comes from exercise, and not all strength is measured by how fast or how far we go. Sometimes strength looks like gently rising from a chair, reaching for a glass on the shelf, lifting a light basket, or leaning down to tie your shoes. It's the kind of movement no one claps for, but your body knows it, and your brain, it welcomes it deeply. You may not think of your daily tasks as physical activity, but every time you walk across the room, stretch to reach a book, or sweep the porch, you're engaging your muscles, your joints, your coordination. And more importantly, you are inviting blood flow to your brain. Oxygen increases. Vital nutrients circulate. Neural pathways awaken. This isn't a workout in the traditional sense, but it is movement with meaning, and it matters. Studies continue to show that even light, physical activity contributes to better brain health. It improves memory, stabilizes mood, and helps protect cognitive function over time. You don't need a gym. You don't need a timer or a target. You just need your own rhythm, your own space, your own willingness to keep moving gently every day. Vacuuming a rug, tending a flower bed, washing a window. These tasks, when done with awareness, become your practice. They become your way of saying, "I am still here, still moving, still alive in my body." And your body says back, "I remember how to support you." Each step, each reach, each motion, no matter how small, echoes as a message of vitality. You are not just maintaining your home, you're maintaining yourself. And that is a form of care far greater than most people realize. There's a quiet kind of power that comes from doing things on your own. Not out of obligation, not to prove strength, but simply because you can. Warming your own meal, choosing your clothes, opening the blinds in the morning and letting the light in. These gestures may go unnoticed by others, but they carry layers of meaning. Because in each one, there is choice. There is presence. There is identity. After 60, independence shifts. It's no longer about doing it all, it's about doing what matters, with your own hands, in your own rhythm, and when you do, something inside affirms, I still belong to this life. I still have my place in it. I am still capable of caring for myself. This feeling, this sense of agency goes far beyond the physical. It echoes in the mind. It calms the heart. It sustains dignity. Science shows us that maintaining a level of autonomy supports not just physical well-being, but cognitive resilience. Checked. Helps preserve memory. It helps reduce feelings of helplessness, and it reinforces emotional balance. Each task completed independently is a soft declaration. I am still participating in my life, and that participation fuels mental clarity. It renews confidence. It brings warmth to the spirit. There's no need to rush. No pressure to do it all. Just a gentle commitment to keep doing what you can. With care, with intention, with quiet courage. And, if one day you need help, that too is part of strength. Receiving does not erase your worth. But while your hands still move with purpose, each movement becomes a meditation in self-respect. This is not about doing it alone. It's about not forgetting how much still lives within you and how deeply your brain responds when you say, yes, I can. The spaces you live in, they speak. Not loudly, but constantly. To your eyes, to your body, to your mind. A cluttered corner, a dim hallway, a surface filled with forgotten objects, they create small tensions, tiny interruptions in the flow of your day. And over time, your brain begins to feel that weight. It becomes harder to concentrate, easier to feel overwhelmed, harder to remember what you came into the room for. But when the space around you feels intentional, when light enters softly, when the air moves freely, when each object has a place, your brain rests. And when your brain rests, it becomes sharper, more present, more available to joy. Creating a brain-friendly environment isn't about beauty or decoration. It's about peace. It's about order, not as control, but as invitation. A clear table isn't just easier to clean. It's an open surface for a new thought to land. A room with fewer distractions isn't emptier. It's more focused. When you place a plant near your favorite chair, when you keep a soft lamp by the bed, when you choose to surround yourself with what soothes and nourishes, you are designing more than a room. You are designing a place where your mind feels welcome. This isn't about impressing anyone. It's about aligning your outer world with your inner needs. So your brain knows, without words, that here, in this space, it can breathe, it can soften, it can simply be. Your home, even in its simplest form, can become a gentle partner in your healing. It doesn't need to be perfect, just cared for, just enough. Because sometimes, feeling safe starts with a chair you love, a window that lets in light, a room that reminds you you are home. Maybe you've never looked at your daily tasks this way, as something meaningful, as something that gives as much as it asks. But today, perhaps a light has begun a si ascender a dentro, a soft realization that these small, quiet routines you still carry, rinsing a cup, folding your blanket, tending to a plant, are not just acts of care for your space. They're acts of care for your mind, for your spirit, for your wholeness. The world often forgets the value of slow things, of repetition, of solitude. It rushes toward noise, urgency, results. But healing doesn't live there. Healing, more often, hides in the places no one applauds. It lives in the way you begin your mornings, in the way you prepare a simple meal, in the way you place a photograph back in its frame, and linger just 1 second longer than yesterday. While the world keeps running, you are building a kind of sanctuary, not with bricks or fences, but with presence, with softness, with choice. Every time you keep moving, not because you must, but because you can, you are honoring something sacred. Your body may have slowed, your energy may shift with the seasons, but your intention, your love, your dignity, they are steady, they are alive, and your brain feels it. In the rhythm of each movement, in the safety of routine, in the quiet warmth of connection, in the simplicity of noticing what's here. You're not just performing tasks. You're keeping a promise to yourself, to your memories, to the life you've built and continue to live, moment by moment. And yes, there will be days when it feels like too much, when the task weighs heavy, when the body says no. And that's okay, because asking for help doesn't erase your strength. Receiving support doesn't mean you've lost your light, but while your hands can still move, while your eyes still soften at a morning sun, while your heart still beats with kindness toward your own life, let each act be a blessing. Let each gesture be a whisper. I still matter. I still care. Your brain thanks you. Your future thanks you. Even the quiet walls around you, they feel your presence. They hold your rhythm. So before we close, pause. Take a breath. Is there one simple task in your day that feels like home? One moment that gently pulls you back to yourself? It doesn't have to be grand, just real, just yours. Maybe that's the gift, the one that nourishes you silently, the one that says, without needing to say anything, you're still here. Still, whole, still held. You are not alone. And in the stillness of your routine, the universe answers back. Always.